No place like the Cube. Family, it's your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, and this is Queer News, your favorite weekly news pod where race and sexuality meet politics, culture, and entertainment.
We must vote, and we need you. It's time to sing a new song.
We must vote. Yeah, you know that voice. It's Beyonce herself. Bey, okay? The queen. Yes. She showed her support of the Harris Walls ticket in her hometown of Houston, Texas. Her and Kelly Rowland shared a few words, all while looking amazing. Okay? And can y'all believe tomorrow is the day? So many feelings, so many thoughts. So stay close. More coming up during our political segment. Also, family, don't forget the Queer News tip line is open. A link is in the show notes. I want to tell the stories happening in your areas that matter most to you. So much doesn't make the news or a blog, but I want to report on it here. Yeah, so send me your story. I want to share them with everybody. Q Crew, what's going on? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I should make a song like thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just being silly, but for real, thank you so much for your continued support of this podcast. You all help to support the hosting, the editing, the marketing, the PR, the travel. It costs a lot to do this thing, and y'all help me make it happen. So thank you. And family, if you're listening to this and you're not part of the Q Crew, if you don't give to this podcast on a monthly basis, but you believe in the work we do, and you believe LGBTQ stories need to be amplified, and you love and respect how I report on the news and tell our stories, well then go ahead and join the Q Crew for as low as starting as $5 a month. A link is where? You already know, in the show notes. And family, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On the last day of October, which was also the last day of LGBTQ History Month, I dropped our third video of me and Amanda's LGBTQ history series, and it was on Hattie McDaniel. Chile, did you know she was bisexual? Me either, until Amanda told me the tea. So go to YouTube, check it out. It's really, really good. Now for the news. In politics, we are one day away from the election. Just one day away. Early voting numbers are high. VP Harris makes surprise appearance on SNL, and BET hosts a Black Men's Political Summit. We've been in the midst of it, and the day is almost here. So let's get into it. In culture and entertainment, a teacher outs a trans student in the UK. One of Matthew Shepard's murderers tries to get his sentence reduced. And I've got a follow-up to the hate crime that took place in August at Global Black Pride in Atlanta. Let's go.
Well, first of all, thank you, BET, and thank you, DL, for providing this opportunity for the conversation. And elections are choices. And we have a choice right now. I think this is the clearest choice we've ever seen in a presidential election. On the one hand, we have a man named Donald Trump, who has 34 felony convictions, a history of racism from the Central Park Five to his black casino workers to being sued for racial discrimination in the 1970s to his lies about Barack Obama's birth certificate to the fact that he was impeached twice and tried to start an insurrection to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. Come on. And on the other hand, we have a talented black woman who started her career as a district attorney, became a state attorney general, became a United States senator, and then became the vice president of the United States, is the most qualified person in this race, perhaps the most qualified person to run for president because she has experience at the state, local, and federal level. And she also has experience in the judicial branch from working as a prosecutor, and the executive branch from working as the vice president, and the legislative branch from working as a United States senator. Who else has that experience? This is a choice. This is a choice. I just hope that we look at these two people and we choose wisely.
In politics, it's that time. And that was political advisor, commentator, and author Keith Boykin at the BET Political Summit for Black Men. And could any of us have said it any better than that? The choice is so clear to me and to so many of us listening. But clearly, it's not that clear for half of the country. And for that, I have no explanation whatsoever. But what I do know is that it's tomorrow. We are one day away from Election Day. My anxiety right now is ridiculously high, and it's because the stakes are so high. According to the polls, this thing is within a margin of error of any poll, right? Those 3 points. But over the weekend, Iowa pollster Ann Seltzer predicted VP Harris will win Iowa. Now, she's known as the best pollster in politics. Like, that's how people see her, okay? So for her to say that Harris is going to win Iowa carries a whole lot of weight. I mean, ain't nobody more shocked than me. I went to school in Iowa, okay? It is farm country. So this means that farmers don't believe Trump is for them. Now that says a whole lot. And Ann's predictions are valued because she's right like 90% of the time. Like from federal elections to local elections, she be right. So come on through Iowa, okay? And let's talk about these other swing states. Arizona, Trump is leading by 4 points, okay? In Georgia, Harris is leading by 1 point. Michigan, they are tied. Nevada, Harris is leading by 3 points. North Carolina, Harris is leading by 2 points. Pennsylvania, it's tied. Wisconsin, Harris is leading by 2 points. So many of these swing states are within the margin of error. And there has been so much gerrymandering. There's been so much going on. I'm seeing the stories on TikTok, people not getting their mail-in ballots, things being delayed in major counties that would make a huge difference in states like Georgia. Now, what I will say is that it's reported over 70 million Americans, that's right, over 70 million have already early voted. And I can tell y'all, my dad went early vote. He said he had to wait for 2 hours for an early vote. That's pretty incredible. Plenty of people are valuing this election. And it's showing in the numbers. The lines have been long, okay? And did y'all even see that they are burning ballot boxes? A ballot box was burned in Vancouver, Washington, and one was burned in Portland, Oregon. How do you even track and get back to those folks who put their ballots in those boxes? Unbelievable. And on top of it, I know you are, I know I am, bracing myself for when, not if, but when the Harris-Walz ticket wins and comes out on top. We know what happened the last time, and I expect nothing less. Do you? But let me tell you something. When, and I say when and not if again, when the Harris-Walz ticket wins the election, I'm going to be waiting on another SNL appearance, okay? Because this past week, VP Harris made a surprise appearance on SNL. Take a listen.
Kamala, take my Pamela. Take my Pamela. Take my Take my Pamela. Take my Pamela. Kamala, take my Pamela. The American people want to stop the Kamala. Take my Pamela. Carry on, Allah. Kamala, take my Pamela. The American people want to stop the chaos
and end the drama
with a cool new stepmamala. Kick back in our pajamas and watch a rom Kamala.
like Legally Blondula.
And start decorating for Christmas. Fa la 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 la. Because what do we always say? Keep Kamala and carry on, Allah.
Family, it is such a moment when Maya Rudolph does the Kamala Harris impression. And they were up there dressed exactly alike. I feel like Maya even had like the colored streaks in her hair, like the pearls around her neck. It was everything. It was hilarious. And I can't wait for when VP Kamala Harris and Tim Walz wins and they make an appearance on SNL. And Maya is right there. It's going to be such a moment. Are y'all ready to vote? I know I'm ready to vote. I'm ready to vote and ensure that we don't go back. Yeah, we can't afford to go back. Now let's just take a quick break. When we get back, let's jump into culture and entertainment.
November 1st is the start of open enrollment for the Get Covered Illinois Health Insurance Marketplace. Our navigators can help you enroll in a health plan and find out if you qualify for financial help. Visit getcoveredillinois.gov. Your health coverage starts here.
If you're listening to this, it means we didn't sell this ad space. If you're listening to this, it means running ads on our podcast can actually work. You see what I did there? Do you need some promo? A little amplification? Hit us up at info@e3radio.fm. That's info@e3radio.fm. We have a platform. You should use it. Family, welcome back to the show. Now let's jump into culture and entertainment. Let's jump across the pond. Why don't we? Yes, a teacher in the UK has been banned, banned from teaching, not just for a week or two or for this next school year, indefinitely banned from teaching in the UK because they went to Twitter, also known as X, yes, and outed a trans student. Yeah, for real. She really did that and not just made one tweet or two tweets. No, she made a few tweets. One of them said, quote, "Where I teach, we have gender identity policy. Insert eye roll emoji. It's a load of nonsensical rubbish." Yeah, that's what she said. Let me read you another one. Quote, "I worry about what the next steps will be for insert trans student's name. Like, your job is to support your student. Allow the parents to take care of their child. Why can't you just show up and support your student? I don't understand." Not only after being reprimanded about this and being called to task did she feel bad. That's the only time that she apologized, quote unquote. And actually, let me just tell you what she said. She said she regretted any upset or hurt or potential harm she caused from her tweets. She admitted, to having pent up frustration, as well as anger and deep concern around trans issues and her students transitioning. She said that she felt regret, shame, guilt, and many other emotions. But Chile, the board, the people in charge of the decision, didn't believe a word she said, didn't think she really had any remorse, and she was only sorry because she was about to lose her job, which in fact, she did. I hope it's just a signal boost out here in the world that you can't do that. You cannot do that. You should not do that. But what I do appreciate is that the UK moved so quickly on making this decision. And I wish that something like that can happen here in America. Yeah. Like, don't do that. Or this is what's going to happen to you because you can't be trusted with our children. I feel like it's so simple. Like, literally all I hear is Lauryn Hill in my head. It's so simple. Our next story is about Matthew Shepard, and I wanted to share this one because if you've been following and tapped in, you know that me and Amanda of Yesterqueers did a 3-part series during LGBTQ History Month. And our first video was the untold story of Matthew Shepard. And I just thought it was so ironic that this story popped up in the midst of that historic month. So it turns out that one of the men, Russell Henderson, who was found guilty of killing Matthew Shepard, he's currently serving 2 life sentences, applied to have his sentence reduced. Now, in Wyoming, once a prisoner has served at least 10 years of their life sentence, they are allowed to submit a commutation petition once every 5 years. So Russell Henderson was up to be able to submit a petition to reduce his sentence. Now, this isn't the first time that he's applied to reduce his sentence. The first time was in 2004. And during that appeal, he mentioned how he just didn't know what legal rights, right, he was going to be denied by pleading guilty. Yeah, that appeal was unsuccessful, and this latest attempt at reducing his sentence was also unsuccessful. The board that makes these decisions had a hearing, and they decided not to forward the petition along to the governor. And so that's pretty much it. He will not be getting out of prison anytime soon, as a matter of fact. But if you're interested in hearing more about Matthew Shepard and his story and who he was and what the most infamous hate crime in American history has meant, then you got to watch the video Amanda and I did about the untold story of Matthew Shepard. A link is in the show notes. For our last story today, it's actually a follow-up story. If y'all remember, at the end of August, I reported about a hate crime that took place at Global Black Pride in Atlanta. Do y'all remember that? I actually did a TikTok and an Instagram about this story because I just wanted as many people to know about it as possible. If you don't remember, Global Black Pride had set up their exhibit hall, and they had footage of them being set up, dancing, being in community in this space before the launch. And then they walked in that next morning and it had been completely demolished. Someone had gone through there and ransacked everybody's booths, destroyed televisions, and they even defecated on the pride flag. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. And we do what we always do. They saged that space, they cleaned up that space, and they went on to have a wonderful Global Black Pride, and it was a collab with Atlanta's Black Pride. Literally hundreds of thousands of people descend upon Atlanta during that time. And when I saw that story, it really just infuriated me. And it also made me really sad because it was just such a clear reminder that we have such a long way to go, even in such an affirming place as Atlanta, Georgia. Well, a report came out that a man has been indicted for allegedly, we have to say that right, vandalizing that property. They are facing second-degree criminal damage to property and criminal trespass, both of which are believed to be motivated by bias or prejudice. And this is coming from attorney Fonnie Willis. Y'all know her, okay? We don't even got to get into that. She said during the press conference, as district attorney, I want to send a clear message. If anything is done to violate the people who come here to celebrate rights, we are going to use the full extent of the law to prosecute them. We welcome this community into our city. That's what she said during that press conference, okay? They're estimating that Ralph George Drabick, that is his name, of Philadelphia, he ain't even from Atlanta, he's from Philadelphia, caused $8,000 to $10,000 worth of damage. Now, here's the deal. He is not in custody. They have a warrant out for his arrest, but they know who did it. Now, will they find him? Who knows? Will somebody turn him in? Who knows? Maybe if the reward is high enough, maybe they will. But what I do appreciate is that they really did an investigation and they really found the person that did this. They really violated that space and they ought to be held accountable. Yep, they really should. Now, family, y'all already know what we do at the end of the show. We always close with Anna's Got a Word because Anna's always got a word. And I'm honestly gonna close this podcast out with a word from VP Kamala Harris. Over the weekend on Sunday, she visited Greater Emmanuel Institutional Church of God in Christ, which is led by Bishop John Drew. Now, Bishop Drew is the current presiding bishop of the Church of God in Christ. And for all my gospel-loving folks out there, y'all know he's married to gospel royalty and Karen Clark Sheard of the Clark Sisters, and he's father of Kiera Sheard, gospel singer. Yes, we also know religious organizations like the Church of God in Christ, or as I grew up knowing it as Kojic, does not approve or agree with the queers, okay? No way, shape, or form, up, down, or around about are they good with us. I think they would say that homosexual lifestyle are the words they were used, but I digress. VP Harris went to visit the church because she needs Black people to vote. Even more importantly, she needs Black men to vote. And she needs Black men to tell their Black sons and their Black nephews and their Black cousins and their Black friends to go vote. And not just vote, but vote for Kamala Harris. And she did that. And, you know, I won't say that I believe she's a great orator. I don't know if she's like the great orator of our time, but she can give a speech, okay? She's got personality. She's got that thing that works for her. Yes? And so I want to leave y'all with a word from VP Kamala Harris as we embark upon what will inevitably be a long week, no matter which way this goes. And I just want us to hold each other. I want us to remember what VP Harris has got to say. And I also want us to remember that we're going to be okay. This country, the great experiment that is the United States of America, has been through a lot. And this is our time to experience what that a lot really feels like. And it's showing itself. The racism, the homophobia, the misogyny, the lies. It has been wild to experience. And also a time where I've seen us fight back fiercely, not just on social media, but in real life, canvassing. I will never forget going to canvass in Racine, Wisconsin. I'm so grateful we made the time to go out there and be part of the process. This is not a time to be passive. This is a time for us to be active. When VP Harris wins, we need to double down on how active we're being. If for some strange, diabolical reason Trump wins again, we've got to be active. We have to be active participants in this democracy. Whatever your gift is, use it, okay? Because we need you. You listening to this podcast, I'm talking to you. We need you more than ever. I want y'all to take care of yourselves. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Till next week. Peace. If you've enjoyed what you heard, rate and review us inside your favorite podcasting app. This podcast is written and produced by me, Anna DeShawn. Podcast editing by Ryan Woodhall. And brought to you by E3 Radio and distributed on The Cube. We are Queer News Done Right.